Hi, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. Good to be back with you this evening. We're going to continue reading in our book, Do You Love Me? These are all stories that show God's love. So, this one is about Ruth's new family. I'm going home, Naomi said. I'm going back to my own people. See, her and her husband had moved far away from all their family and friends into another land. And many things had hurt her. Her husband had died, and even her sons died once they were adults and had married. So she told her daughter-in-laws, I'm going home. Now, I will go with you, said Ruth. So Ruth went back to Naomi's people. But Ruth had to get food for them to eat. There was no one else to do it. Back in those days, they depended on the men so much. And so she went out to the fields to glean. Gleaning is after the fields have been picked for the harvest, then they would let poor people go in, and those poor people could get whatever little bits they could find that were left over. One day, Ruth saw a good man. His name was Boaz. Boaz loved Ruth, and Ruth loved Boaz. May I be your husband? Boaz asked Ruth. Ruth was very happy. She was happy to have Boaz as her husband. Boaz will take care of Naomi and me, she said, and he will love me too. After a time, Ruth and Boaz had a baby boy. They were a very happy family. You know who else was happy? Naomi, because now she had a new child to love. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Why was Ruth happy? Yeah, I think she was happy because God provided for her and for her mother-in-law, Naomi, that she loved so much. Helped them to find food after their trip back to the land where Naomi lived. Helped her to find a good husband. Helped her to have a new family. What can you do to help your family? Well, one thing I think we can do is we can have a good attitude. That's the way we think and act. So that's being cheerful, having the I can do it attitude, having hope. Those things are much better than grumpiness and resentfulness when we resent having to do things. Another good thing is to be thankful. That makes everything better. So that's the end of this story, how God provided a new family for both Naomi and Ruth because they had went through some terrible losses. But God restored for them. Now, of course, Naomi's husband was still dead, and Ruth's husband, who had died, was still dead too, but he gave them a new family to take care of them and to love them. So it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to say I love you. I really do. But more importantly, God loves you, and He always will. Good night.